Welcome everyone to East Long Meadow High School. I'm Abby Laughlin alongside Tony Santinello and Maria Boucher on camera. Tonight we will watch East Long Meadow Spartans take on the Amherst Hurricanes.
Abby, the excitement is in the air here as we're about set to get underway for the opening of the 2013 girls volleyball season.
Both teams take their place. East Long Meadow, Julia Decker, getting ready to serve the ball. And Decker serves over to Amherst. It's hit up. And that's 1 point for East Long Meadow.
Nice hard serve there by Julia Decker. Good return there by the Amherst libero.
Decker serves again. And hit up, set, and spiked over. Good dig there by Caroline O'Connor. And that's 1 point for Amherst. Amherst prepares to serve the ball. It's over to East Long Meadow. It's Jamie Mikowitz serving for the Spartans. Over to Amherst. It's hit up by the libero. And spiked over, saved by Caroline and that's out. 1 point for Amherst.
Tough play there. That ball was hit around her head, and she did a good job, Caroline, to get her hands on it. Unfortunately, just a little bit too high. Amherst ties it up 2-2.
Amherst serving the ball. Where it's over. It was a tough one, just hitting the net.
That's a rule here in volleyball for those that don't know. If the ball does hit the net on the serve and goes over, it's in play as if it never hit the net. So different than tennis, if you will.
Ball served over. That's another tough one. Amherst serves the ball over. Hit up by Julia Decker. To Paige Seuss, to Vivian Brennan. And another point for Amherst. Ball served by Amherst. Over to Jamie Mikowitz and out of bounds. Another point for Amherst, bringing the score to 6-2. Amherst serves again. Over to Julia Decker, up to Paige Seuss, to Vivian Brennan, who saved by Amherst. Hit over to Jamie Mikowitz. And another point for Amherst.
Amherst looks like they have a lot of experience here.
Julia Decker hits it to Paige Seuss. Over to Vivian. Retrieved by Amherst. And hit back over to Julia Decker, to Paige Seuss. And the ball's hit back. Amherst hits it over to Caroline O'Connor. To Paige Seuss. Set up. And the ball is out.
Out of bounds there. Amherst quickly up 8-2 here. They rattled off 7 in a row.
Amherst serves again over to Caroline O'Connor, who just can't get her hands on it.
That's a tough serve. That one I think would have been out. I think from where she's standing, I believe would have been out of the box. Tough call though when it's coming at you like that.
Amherst serving again. Over to East Long Meadows, Julia Decker. Hit up to Vivian Brennan. Retrieved by Amherst and out of bounds. It's a point for the Spartans, bringing the score to 9-3.
Spartans break the drought here.
Morgan Voigt in for Meg Lindsay. That's another point for the Spartans.
Caroline O'Connor, nice serve there, keeping the Hurricanes back and unable to get the ball set up for over the net.
Another serve over to Amherst, who retrieves it, sets it up, and spikes it over. Another point for Amherst. The score is 10-4 with Amherst serving the ball. Ball set to Jamie Mikowitz, to Paige Seuss, to Vivian Brennan, who spikes it over. Retrieved by Amherst. Spiked over.
That ball is out of bounds. Once it gets that pull over the net, they're automatically out. Therefore, the point goes to East Long Meadow.
Paige Seuss set to serve the ball for the Spartans. Seuss serves the ball over to Amherst, who sets it up and hits it back over to Morgan Voigt, who hits it up and over, out of bounds. Another point for Amherst. The score is now 11-5 with Amherst serving. Amherst serves the ball over to Julia Decker, to Morgan Voigt, who hits it over. Back up to Amherst, where it's hits the net, giving East Long Meadow another point. Vivian Brennan now set to serve the ball. Serves it up. And that's a fault.
Like Vivian slipped a little bit there with her foot.
And now Amherst libero is serving the ball over to East Long Meadow. Hit up by Jamie Mikowitz to Paige Seuss. Spiked over by Jamie and retrieved by Amherst, where it's hit over again to Vivian Brennan, to Paige Seuss, who sets it up to Jamie Mikowitz, who spikes it down, and Amherst retrieves it. Set up again, hit over by Amherst, to Caroline O'Connor, to Paige Seuss, to Jamie Mikowitz, retrieved by Amherst, and out of bounds.
Great volley there, good point by East Long Meadow as they answered each and every time there.
Meg Lindsay back in the game, and Morgan Voigt set to serve for the Spartans. Serves it over to the libero, set up and hit down, saved by Paige Seuss. Hit again by Amherst, saved by Morgan Voigt. That was just a tough one.
Tough play there for Vivian.
Amherst serves the ball again to the libero, Caroline O'Connor, to Paige Seuss. Back to Caroline, where it's hit over. Amherst retrieves it and hits it back to Caroline, to Paige, and to Jamie. Amherst seems to be controlling the ball really well, but East Long Meadow is always right there. That's another point for Amherst.
Amherst.
Served over. A successful point for the Spartans. Jamie Mikowitz ready to serve the ball. Ball served over to Amherst. Hit up, set, and over to Jamie Mikowitz. To Paige Seuss. It seems like a lack of communication again on Amherst.
Confusion there by Amherst. Lead now 18-10 for Amherst.
Jamie Mikowitz setting the ball, serving the ball again for the Spartans. Served over. And out of bounds, bringing the score to 19-10. 2 more points, and Amherst will win this round. Ball set up by Caroline O'Connor to Paige Seuss. Over to Vivian Brennan, where it's retrieved by Amherst and set. And hit over. Good save by Julia Decker. Ball's hit up to Caroline O'Connor, who hits it over. Retrieved by Amherst, set, spike down, and a nice block there by Meg Lindsay, using her height to her advantage.
I believe the call was she rejected the ball, but it hit the Amherst player while her hands were over East on middle side. Is that why the whistle blew so quick?
Hit over by Vivian Brennan and up by Amherst. Set by Amherst and hit over. Retrieved by Caroline O'Connor. Let's see.
That's going to do it. Game 1, 21-10.
Ball's hit over to Amherst, who sets it up and spikes it over. Retrieved by Julia Decker and set to Vivian Brennan, who hits it back over. Set up by Amherst and hits the net. It's a point for the Spartans. Caroline serves over to Amherst, who sets it up. And a hit by Amherst there, saved by Jamie Mikowitz. And out. Amherst hits the ball over to Jamie Mikowitz, who sets it up for Vivian Brennan. Retrieved again by Amherst. Hits it back over to Julia Decker. Paige Seuss sets it up for Morgan Boyd, who hits it over and out of bounds. Another point for Amherst. Amherst serves it over to East Long Meadow's Caroline O'Connor. Hits it up to Paige Seuss and sets it up for Vivian Brennan. But the ball does not get over the net, leading to another point for Amherst. Amherst ready to serve again. Hits it over to Jamie Mikowitz, up to Vivian Brennan, to Morgan Voigt, leading to another point for the Spartans.
And that is 25. I'm sorry, I thought it was 21 each game, but it is 25. So your final score here at the end of the first game is Amherst 25, East Long Meadow 11, and Abby, tough game there. Amherst looks really sharp here.
Yeah.
Really communicating well and did some nice plays, putting the pressure on East Long Meadow.
Amherst definitely has some really good team dynamics, always communicating and always able to retrieve lots of tough East Long Meadow serves.
See if the Spartans can turn things around here after the first game. They are led by head coach Brian Stafford, known to most as Yoshi. And if you're interested in a broadcasting opportunity here at LCAT, feel free to come by the LCAT studio. Brand new, state-of-the-art technology. located right here at East Long Meadow High School. If you'd like to try out some commentating, some camera work, some editing, producing, whatever it is in your future that you want to get into, feel free to stop by or call the executive producer, Mr. Don Mackey, 413-525-4220. And be happy to have you join the LCAT family, as Abby and Maria have recently. And how you guys like it?
It's great.
Having fun?
Yep. Glad to be here tonight.
Also, we'd like to thank our sponsors, the Pizza Shop, home of the legendary dough on Shaker Road in East Long Meadow, and also Let's Yo, the yogurt experience, North Main Street in East Long Meadow. Feel free to follow us on Twitter for all of your sports updates at our handle @LCATSports.
Amherst seems to be ready, getting back on the court.
2-minute break here between games. Warm in here, huh, Abby?
Yes,
Need some air conditioning in the high school.
definitely. All right, East Long Meadow in their huddle.
You have no air conditioning in the classrooms, right?
Only some, only a few. East Long Meadow taking the court again. Changing up their lineup a little bit here with Rachel Walczak going in. Also joined by number 18, Cara Balboni.
Who was that you said? Rachel Walczak?
Yep, number
That's
11.
Sarah's sister?
I don't know.
Sarah's soccer player 2 years ago graduated?
No.
Carol was just in, no?
Up, and Rachel's back out, and Cara also. All right, the lineup the same from the first round, with Amherst serving. Ball served over to East Long Meadow and retrieved by Caroline O'Connor, where it's set to Paige Seuss and over to Jamie Mickowitz, who hits it down. That's 1 point for the Spartans. That was a great hit by number 15, Jamie Mickowitz. Julia Decker serving the ball for the Spartans again. Serves it over to Amherst, who's libero, who's hits it up. It's hit up by Amherst and over to Julia Decker, where it's set by Paige Seuss and hit over by Meg Lindsay. Retrieved by Amherst again, set and hit over. And a save there by Jamie Mickowitz. And another point for the Spartans, giving the Spartans a 2-0 lead in the second round of the game. Julia Decker serving for the Spartans again.
Yeah, but like it's like a round, like it's not the whole game. I have no idea.
Julia Decker serving the ball again for the Spartans.
A little confusion here.
Julia Decker serving the ball for the Spartans. She hits it over to Amherst, who hits it up, sets, and hits the ball down. It was a nice try there by Vivian Brennan, but it was just a really tough hit by Amherst.
And that point goes to East Long Meadow. Might have been a closed fist or something, I think that's what they call it.
Ball served. Oh, and the ball hits the net, giving the Spartans another point. The Spartans are up 4-0 in the first round.
So
Second round.
In the first game, Abby, they've come out in a little disarray here in the second game.
Julia Decker serves the ball over. Hit up by the libero. Where it's hit again by Amherst. And Paige Seuss sets it up for Jamie Mikowitz, who hits it over. And another point for the Spartans, bringing the score to 5-0. Ball is being served by Julia Decker again. Ball served over to Amherst. Hit up and set up where it's hit over and deflected by Meg Lindsay, giving another point to the Spartans.
East Long Meadow much more into it this game.
Julia Decker serves again. Where it's hit up by Amherst. And over. Caroline O'Connor retrieves it. Over to Paige Seuss, who sets it up for Meg Lindsay, who hits it behind the back. It's set up. And another point for the Spartans, who really seem to have stepped up their game since the last round. Julia Decker serving again. Hits it over to Amherst, who hits it up. Sets it and hit over. Saved by Vivian Brennan. And up to Paige Seuss to Jamie Mikowitz. For another point for the Spartans, leading 8-0 in the second game of this match.
Amherst has seen enough. Coach wants a timeout, Abby. It's 8-0 here at the high school.
Julia Decker set to serve the ball again. Hit over to Amherst, who retrieves it and sets it up. Where it's hit down and retrieved by Julia Decker. Set by Paige Seuss to Jamie Mikowitz. Saved by Amherst, set up. And that's another point for East Long Meadow. The energy in the room has just increased so much since the last game. With East Long Meadow leading 9-0. Julia Decker hits the ball over. Saved by Amherst. Where it's set and hit back over. Saved by Jamie Mikowitz. Meg Lindsay touches it over. Set back over by Amherst. And Julia Decker hits it up. Jamie Mikowitz down. Another point for the Spartans. Leading now 10-0 in game 2.
Coach Yoshi came out, got this team fired up here in game 2.
Julia Decker serves again. Where it's hit up and set. Hit over. Up. And 1 point for Amherst. Making the score 10-1, East Long Meadow. Amherst set to serve here. Ball's hit over, where it's out. Creating an 11-1 lead for East Long Meadow with Jamie Mikowitz now serving. Jamie Mikowitz hits it over to Amherst, who hits it up, sets it, and hits it over. That was a tough one. Jamie Mikowitz just couldn't really get her hands on it. Amherst set to serve again. The score is 11-2, East Long Meadow. Amherst serves the ball over. It's retrieved by Julia Decker and hit back over to Amherst. Set by Paige Seuss. Set up by Amherst and hit over. Saved by Jamie Mikowitz. Up to Paige Seuss, who taps it over. Another point for the Spartans, making the score 12-2, East Long Meadow. Rachel Walczak now in for Meg Lindsay. Caroline O'Connor set to serve for East Longmeadow. Ball's over to Amherst, who just can't really retrieve it. Another point for the Spartans. Caroline O'Connor set to serve again. Ball's over to Amherst. And set up. Hit over. It's retrieved by Jamie Mickwitz. Set by Paige Seuss. Over to Vivian Brennan. Rachel tried to save that one, but it was just a tough one to save. Scores now 13-3, East Longmeadow.
Rachel Michelson, certainly a big cheerleader on the bench for the Spartans.
Ball's hit over. East Longmeadow just couldn't return it. Score 13-4, Amherst. Amherst set to serve the ball. Over the net. And East Longmeadow just couldn't really save that one. Amherst now starting to catch up. Score 13-5. Amherst serves it over. Retrieved by Jamie Mickwitz to Caroline O'Connor, who sets it up for Rachel Walczak, who hits it over to Amherst. Hits it up and over. And that's another point for Amherst, making the score 13-6. Amherst hits it over to Jamie Mickwitz. There's a lack of communication there, and the Spartans leads to another point for Amherst, 13-7, who seem to be catching up. Amherst serves it over again, and the serve's not successful, which gives East Longmeadow another point, and Paige Seuss setting up to serve for the Spartans. Paige serves over to Amherst, who retrieves it and sets it up, where it's hit back over and saved by Jamie Mickwitz, who sets it over to Julia Decker, who just can't really get a handle on it. Another point for Amherst.
14-8, East Longmeadow here, game 2.
Amherst serves it over, and another fault by Amherst, giving East Longmeadow another point.
In case you're just joining us, East Longmeadow lost game 1, 25-11.
And Cara Balboni now in for Vivian Brennan. And serving the ball. Serves it over to Amherst, who retrieves it and sets it up. Hits it back over to Jamie Mickwitz. Paige Seuss sets it over. And Jamie Mickwitz just can't seem to get the right touch on the ball there. Amherst set to serve again. Ball served over to Caroline O'Connor. Over to Paige Seuss. And out of bounds, another point for Amherst, making the score 15-10. Serves it over to Caroline O'Connor, up to Paige Seuss, back to Caroline O'Connor, who hits it over and out of bounds. Another point for Amherst, who seems to be catching up. The score 15-11. Amherst serves the ball over to Caroline O'Connor, who hits it back over, and Amherst sets it up and hits it down, saved by Paige Seuss there to Rachel Walczak, who hits it over. a violation for the Spartans, as Amherst seems to be closing the gap. Amherst serves it again to the Spartans, to Caroline O'Connor, Paige Seuss, and Jamie Mickowitz, who hits it over to Amherst, who sets it up. And again, and it's hit over and saved by Caroline O'Connor. Ball goes to Paige Seuss, up to Jamie Mickowitz, who hits it over, saved by Amherst, sets it up. And that's a point for the Spartans, now with a lead of 16-12.
Coach Yoshi trying to cheer on his troops here. Get them back into it as they're up 16-12 here.
Rachel Walczak to serve the ball for the Spartans. She hits it over. Saved by Amherst, who hits the net. Ball goes to Rachel Walczak again with another point for the Spartans. Rachel serves it over, where Amherst hits it out of bounds. Another point for the Spartans, giving them an 18-12 lead in the second game. Rachel serves again. And it hit out of bounds again by Amherst. Spartans seem to be getting back their lead and increasing the gap.
Takes another timeout. 19-12 East Longmeadow.
Okay.
I'll keep it
Okay.
going and carry it.
Okay, so like if I'm done announcing a point, then you can. Okay. Rachel Walczak serves over for the Spartans. Over to the libero, who sets it up. And Amherst hits it down.
Nice shot there by Amherst. Great set there, and she was great position there to nail that kill.
Amherst ready to set the ball again. They set it over to East Longmeadow, who's Cara Balboni saves it. Over to Paige Seuss, and Jamie Mickowitz hits it over. The nice hit there, giving the Spartans a 20-13 lead.
Nice job there by Jamie Mickowitz finding the open spot.
Julia Decker serves again. Over to Amherst, who hits it up, sets it, and over. Saved by Julia Decker. Over to Paige Seuss. Just couldn't quite put that together there for the Spartans. And gives Amherst another point, making the score 20-14. Amherst serving. Amherst serves, but it's a fault right there, which gives East Longmeadow another point as Jamie Mickowitz prepares to serve.
Bill Balboni checks out. Vivian Brennan back in.
Mickowitz serves over to the libero, who hits it up, sets it, and a point, and that's out, giving the Spartans another point. If the Spartans can manage to grab another 3 points, they will win game 2. Jamie Mickowitz serves it over to the libero, who hits it up and sets it over. Spartans only need 2 more points. Jamie Mickowitz sets it over. Ball's hit up. And Caroline O'Connor hits it back. Paige Seuss sets it up for Vivian, who hits it back in and saved by Amherst. Sets it up and hits it back over. Retrieved by Caroline O'Connor. It's Paige Seuss, who hits it up for Meg Lindsay, who hits it up, and then the libero retrieves it. Hit over by Amherst, saved by Caroline O'Connor. Over to Paige Seuss. Then to Vivian Brennan, who hits it back up. Retrieved by Amherst. Set up and hit down by Amherst. Saved by Paige Seuss.
Nice job there by the Spartans.
That was a great play by the Spartans.
Heck of a play by Vivian Brennan over here.
And a great dive there by Paige Seuss. Amherst serving the ball here. It's hit over to Julia Decker. Over to Paige Seuss. Ball to Amherst again. Amherst serves the ball over to Jamie Mikowitz, who hits it up to Vivian Brennan and over to Amherst. Hits it over, saved by Vivian Brennan. Ball goes to Jamie Mikowitz. Back to Vivian Brennan, who hits it over, saved by Amherst. Set up and hit by Amherst. Another point for Amherst, making the score 23-17. Amherst definitely seems to be catching up. Amherst serving over here to Julia Decker, Paige Seuss, who hits it up, and Vivian Brennan, who hits it over. Amherst sets it up and hits it over, saved by Caroline O'Connor to Paige Seuss to Meg Lindsay, who hits it over, saved again by Amherst, where it's set up and hit over, saved again by Caroline O'Connor. Served by Paige Seuss, and another point for Amherst.
23-18, Eastern Meadow now up by 5.
If East Long Meadow can just manage to grab another 2 points, they'll win this game. Paige Seuss over to Vivian Brennan to Amherst, who sets it up and hits it over. Saved by Caroline O'Connor. Set by Paige Seuss to Meg Lindsay, who taps it over. Saved by Amherst. Sets it up, hits it over. Vivian Brennan saves it, and Amherst retrieves. Setting the ball over, saved by Paige Seuss there, and hit down by Vivian Brennan. That was a great save by Paige Seuss, and an awesome hit over by Vivian Brennan. The score is now 24-18.
Game point here, Abby.
As Caroline O'Connor gets ready to serve. Ball served over to Amherst, who hits it up, sets it, and hits it over. Saved there by Rachel Walczak. It was a nice dive by Vivian there, but she just couldn't manage to get the ball back up. 24-19. The Spartans need one more point to win this game. Amherst gets ready to serve the ball. And it's a fault.
Eastern Meadow comes right back and wins game 2, Abby, 25-19. And we saw a different Eastern Meadow team there that game.
Definitely. The energy level there was so much higher, and everything was just a lot more intense for East Long Meadow. Now going in. Julia Decker serving the ball. And that's a fault. 1 point for Amherst. Amherst preparing to serve the ball. Amherst serves the ball over where Caroline O'Connor retrieves it. Sets to Paige Seuss to Julia Decker, who hits it over. Retrieved by Amherst, who sets it up and hits it over. Saved again by Caroline O'Connor. And Meg Lindsay just can't seem to get her hand on it. Amherst gets ready to serve again. The ball's hit over to Julia Decker, to Paige Seuss, to Meg Lindsay, who hits it over to Amherst, who sets it up and spikes it down. Another point for Amherst, bringing the score to 3-0. Amherst serves again to Julia Decker, who hits it to Paige Seuss. Hits it back to Julia Decker, who hits it over. And another point for the Spartans, bringing the score to 3-1 Amherst. Jamie Mikowitz prepares to serve for the Spartans. She hits it over, where it's saved by Amherst, who sets it up and hits it back over, saved by Caroline O'Connor, who hits it up to Paige Seuss. Vivian Brennan, who saved by Amherst, sets it up and hits it, saved by Jamie Mikowitz to Vivian Brennan. Back to Caroline O'Connor, who manages to get it back over to Jamie Mikowitz, to Paige Seuss, and another point for Amherst. That was some great play by the Spartans there.
Good job there by Caroline.
Caroline's definitely contributing hugely to the Spartans. Rachel Michelson in for Jamie Mikowitz. Ball served over to Caroline, who hits it up to Paige, who hits it up to Vivian, hits it back over the net. Ball's out. There's a point for Amherst, bringing the score to 5-1 Amherst. Amherst serves the ball over to Julia Decker, puts it to Paige Seuss, who hits it up to Vivian, who taps it over. There's a penalty there, so the ball goes to Amherst. Amherst hits the ball over to Julia Decker, to Paige Seuss, who saves it there, and Rachel Michelson, but ball's out.
Falling behind here in game 3, down 7-1 early on as Amherst has come out lightning in a bottle here and taken this game from the beginning. Amherst sets and fires back, and that one's going to be out of bounds. In play, point, Eastside Meadow, 7-3 Amherst. Rachel Michelson in the game now for Eastside Meadow.
Caroline O'Connor is set to serve the ball. Over to Amherst, who saves it. Sets it back up, hits it over, and out of bounds. Another point for East Long Meadow, bringing the score to 7-4 Amherst. Caroline O'Connor hits it over to Amherst, who sets it up and hits it. Rachel Michelson saves it there. The ball goes to Rachel Walczak, who hits it back up. Ball set by Amherst and hit over. Saved again by Rachel Michelson to Caroline O'Connor to Rachel Walczak, who hits it over. And Amherst hits it up and over. A point for Amherst there. Amherst prepares to serve the ball now. Ball's over to Caroline O'Connor. Seems as though the ball was called for being out there, when really it was still in play.
Coach thought that was out.
It's another point for Amherst, as Amherst serves the ball over to Caroline O'Connor, who tries to save it, but she just can't get on that one. Amherst again, preparing to serve the ball. Ball served over to Rachel Michelson, who sets it up for Paige Seuss, who sets it up for Rachel Walczak. Ball's hit over by Julia Decker to Caroline O'Connor. Where it goes to Amherst. Point from Caroline O'Connor there.
Good job there of not giving up on it by East Long Meadow.
Paige Seuss now preparing to serve the ball. Ball's hit over to Amherst, who sets it up, sets it again, and hits it back over. Saved by Rachel Michelson. Up to Rachel Walczak. Hit by Julia Decker to Paige Seuss to Vivian Brennan, who hits it over. Saved by Amherst. And another point for the Spartans. We're seeing some good saves here by Rachel Michelson. Ball is served again by Paige Seuss, who hits it over. Amherst hits it up, sets it, and hits it over. Great save there by Caroline O'Connor to Vivian Brennan, who hits it over to Paige Seuss. Rachel Walczak taps that one in for another point for the Spartans.
Nice play there by the Spartans. Great save. Who made the save on the far side? Was it Rachel Michelson?
Yes.
Nice play.
Paige Seuss serves it over to Amherst, who serves it up. And back over to Caroline O'Connor. To Paige Seuss. Caroline O'Connor hits it back over to Amherst. Amherst hits it up. And another point for the Spartans. Scored now 10-8 Amherst, but the Spartans are catching up quickly. Paige Seuss serving again. Ball's hit over to Amherst. Set and hit back to the Spartans. And out of bounds. Score now 10-9 Spartans. Spartans definitely closing the gap here. Paige Seuss serves it again. Hit up by Amherst. And over to Caroline O'Connor, who just can't seem to grab that one.
Nice try there by East Long Meadow, but Amherst gets the point and goes up 11-9 here in the third game. We have a timeout. I believe it was Amherst called a timeout. I believe. 11-9 Amherst. We'll take a break. 16.
Amherst serves it over to Rachel Michelson. Paige Seuss hits it up to Julia Decker, deflected by Amherst. It was a great block by Amherst, bringing the score up to 12-9 in Game 3. Ball hit over to Rachel Michelson, up to Paige Seuss, and to Julia Decker, who hits it over. Amherst can't seem to retrieve that one. And another point for the Spartans, bringing the score to 12-10 Amherst. Cara Balboni set to serve the ball for the Spartans. That's out. Bringing the score to 13-10 Amherst, as Amherst sets to serve the ball. Ball goes over to Jamie Mikwitz, who hits it up. Lack of communication there by the Spartans, leading to another point for Amherst.
Confusion on the part of the Lady Spartans there.
Amherst serves the ball over, and it's out.
That was a bomb. The deep center field out of the ballpark.
Rachel Walczak serving the ball for the Spartans. She serves it over, retrieved by Amherst, who sets it up and hits it back over. Saved by Rachel Walczak, over to Paige Seuss and Jamie Mikwitz. Some kind of penalty there. And another point. Amherst with the ball. Amherst serves it over to Caroline O'Connor, who hits it up to Paige Seuss. Jamie Mikwitz taps it over. Save there by Amherst. Back to Caroline O'Connor, who hits it to Paige Seuss, who hits it back to Meg Lindsay. Back to Amherst, who sets it up, hits it over. Saved by Cara Balboni. Hit up and over by Jamie Mikwitz. But that one's out, giving Amherst another point. The score is now 16-11. Amherst serves the ball over to Julia Decker. Hits it up to Paige Seuss, to Meg Lindsay. Now an Amherst ball. served over to Cara Balboni, to Caroline O'Connor, back over to Amherst, set up, and hit over, saved by Cara Balboni, to Paige Seuss, back to Cara Balboni, set up by Amherst, and over to Jamie Mikowitz, who sets it up to Paige Seuss, back to Jamie Mikowitz, who hits it over, saved by Amherst, bumps the ball up, and bumps it back to Caroline O'Connor, to Paige Seuss, to Meg Lindsay, hits it over, saved again by Amherst, and hit back over to Caroline O'Connor again. Ball goes to Paige Seuss, to Jamie Mikowitz, hits it back over to Amherst. Amherst hits it back to East Long Meadow. Caroline O'Connor sets it up for Paige Seuss, bumps it to Jamie Mikowitz. Ball's on Amherst. Amherst hits it over. That's a point for Amherst.
That was a soft hit there by Amherst, more of a placement shot. Able to get the ball landed between the Spartans there.
That was some great play by the Spartans there. Even though they didn't manage to get that point, they really showed lots of ball control and communication.
Good ball there,
Julia Decker now serving the ball for the Spartans. Ball served over to Amherst, who sets it up, hits it back to Caroline O'Connor, and they just can't manage to get control over that one. Served by Amherst, saved there by Caroline O'Connor. Set up to Julia Decker, who saves it. Back to Meg Lindsay, over to Amherst, who sets it up and hits it back over, saved again by Meg Lindsay. Over to Paige Seuss, who hits it back to Jamie Mikowitz. And a point for the Spartans.
So look, that may go unnoticed, but the first three hits there in that possession of East Long Meadow were all phenomenal saves there. And Julia Decker came flying up, sliding. He will knock it over the net there. But a great point there for East Long Meadow. I believe Caroline O'Connor started it. I'm not sure who hit it second, and then Julia came up flying to knock it over the net. Definitely up for our play of the game nominee.
Another point for the Spartans, closing the gap now. Rachel Michelson now with the ball, serving for the Spartans. And that's a fault. Bringing the ball back over to Amherst, who's set to serve. The score is now 20-14. Set to Caroline O'Connor. Up to Vivian Brennan. Ball's back over to Amherst, who hits it over. Caroline O'Connor tries for the save there, but she just can't manage to grab it. Amherst serves it over to Caroline O'Connor, who hits it up to Paige Seuss. Puts it to Julia Decker, back over to Amherst. Ball's set up and hit back over and out of bounds. East Long Meadow trying to close this gap. The score 21-15, East Long Meadow, or Amherst. Caroline O'Connor serves it over, where it's retrieved by Amherst and hit up, bumped over to East Long Meadow, bumped up to Paige Seuss, who sets it over to Rachel Walczak. A little fumble there. And that's a point for East Long Meadow with Caroline O'Connor serving again. Ball is served over to Amherst and out of bounds. Score now 21-17, East Long Meadow. Will they be able to catch up to Amherst?
They're mounting a comeback here in Game 3, trying not to fall behind 2-1. We'll see if they can pull it off here.
East Long Meadow was Caroline O'Connor with the ball. Serving over to Amherst. Set up. and bumps back over to Caroline O'Connor, who bumps it over to Paige Seuss to Rachel Walczak, hits it over. Amherst sets it up, hits it over, saved by Vivian Brennan to Julia Decker. Paige Seuss tries to save it over there, but she just can't reach that one. Amherst with a point there, making the score 22-17. Amherst with the ball now. Served over to Rachel Michelson, who bumps it up to Paige Seuss, who sets it up for Vivian Brennan, who taps it over. A little confusion there by Amherst, which leads to another point for East Long Meadow. The score now 22-18. Paige Seuss serving the ball now for the Spartans. Ball's hit over to Amherst, who bumps it up, sets it up, and spikes it back down. Another point for Amherst. The score now 23-18.
Stiff up here, Abby.
Amherst serves it over to Julia Decker, who hits it up. To Paige Seuss, Julia Decker hits it back. It was a great save there by Amherst, who hits it back over, but they just can't manage to get it. Gives East Long Meadow another point. Score now 23-19 with Cara Balboni and Jamie Wickwitz going in for the Spartans. Cara Balboni ready to serve the ball here. Ball served over to Amherst. Hit back up and down. Another point for Amherst. Amherst now leading 24-19 with only one more point needed to win game 3. Amherst now serving over to Caroline O'Connor, to Paige Seuss, and then Rachel Walczak. Retrieved by Amherst, set up, and hit down. Good block there by Jamie Mikowitz, bringing the score to 24-20, Amherst.
Some Meadows need to rattle off 6 in a row here. You have to win by 2.
Rachel Walczak now serving the ball for the Spartans. Ball served over, where it's hit up by Amherst. And set, where it's hit back over, saved by Rachel Walczak to Paige Seuss to Jamie Mikowitz.
That's going to do it for game 3. Amherst answers back as they win game 3, 25-20. Hellcat Sports, brought to you in part by the Pizza Shop, home of the legendary dough. That's on Shaker Road in East Long Meadow. And also by Let's Yo, a yogurt experience, North Main Street, East Long Meadow. Interested in broadcasting? Call Hellcat Sports, 413-525-4220. Ask for Executive Director, Mr. Don Mackey. Always there at Hellcat Studio, right at the high school, or just drop by. Show some interest. Who knows? All your dreams may come true. Hellcat. My name is Tony Santanola, joined alongside Abby Laughlin here tonight for her career debut on Hellcat Sports, along with our camera woman, Maria Boucher.
We have Amherst with the ball. They set it over to Caroline O'Connor. Paige Seuss taps it over. And that's a point for Amherst. Score 1-0. We have a new lineup out here with Morgan Voigt. Ball goes to Caroline O'Connor, where it's hit over. And that's a point for the Spartans, tying up the score 1-1.
Yeah, but you probably know most of these girls on the team. Like a lot of seniors, you think, or?
I would say a lot of juniors and a few sophomores.
Not many seniors.
Not many seniors. I'd say the team is mostly being led by juniors tonight. And then with Caroline O'Connor, a sophomore at East Long Meadow High School.
She's a sophomore?
Yes.
promising future for the Lady Spartans in volleyball.
Definitely. Oh, Morgan Voigt getting right back on her feet. That's out. A point for the Spartans. Now leading 3-2 in game 4. Morgan Voigt back out with Megan Lindsay in the game. Jamie Mikowitz serves the ball over to Amherst, where it's set up and hit back over. And a point for East Long Meadow. Amherst just couldn't seem to get the ball over the net. Ball now being served by Jamie Mikowitz. It's saved by Amherst. Hit up and over to Caroline O'Connor. To Paige Seuss. And Jamie Mikowitz hitting it back over. The ball is over to Julia Decker. Back to Paige Seuss and Carol Balboni, who hits it down to Amherst. Amherst hits it over to Caroline O'Connor again. To Paige Seuss and Meg Lindsay. Saved again by Amherst. Amherst hits it up and over, and it's out. A point for the Spartans, bringing the score to 5-2 in game 4. Jamie Mikowitz set to serve again. Oh, and a fault. Bringing the ball back to the Amherst side. Rachel Michelson now going in for Jamie Mikowitz.
Jamie's a senior now, right?
Yes.
Seems like yesterday she was a freshman.
Ball being served by Amherst. That's a tough one. Looked like it was out, but ball served by Amherst over to Paige Seuss. Rachel Michelson hits it up to Meg Lindsay, who taps it over. Saved by Amherst. Set up and saved again by Julia Decker. Ball saved by Rachel Michelson over to Meg Lindsay. Ball goes over to Amherst. Oh, Caroline O'Connor dives to that one, but she just can't seem to reach it. It was a great attempt. Ball being served by Amherst. Over to Julia Decker. Rachel Michelson goes for that one. But it's another point for Amherst, bringing the score to 6-5 Amherst. Amherst serving again. Over to Julia Decker. Set up by Paige Seuss. Meg Lindsay goes to that one, but it's deflected by Amherst. Amherst serves the ball over to Julia Decker, who hits it up to Meg Lindsay. Cara Balboni hits the ball over. It's set up by Amherst and out. Another point for the Spartans. The score now 7-6 Amherst. Caroline O'Connor to serve the ball. And Rachel Walczak going in for Meg Lindsay. Caroline O'Connor serves over. Close one there. Hit up by Amherst. Julia Decker over to Paige Seuss, over to Cara Balboni, who hits it over. Back to Amherst, who sets it up and hits it over. Julia Decker saves it again. Paige Seuss again. Got a penalty called on East Long Meadow, bringing the ball back over to the Amherst side. Amherst now with the ball, serving it over to Rachel Michelson, who hits it up to Cara Balboni. Taps it over to Paige, who can't get the ball quite over the net. Another point for Amherst, bringing the score to 9-6. Ball served over to out of bounds. Another point for Amherst. Ball served over by Amherst, who gets hit up by Rachel Michelson. Over to Paige Seuss and Carabelle Boney, who hits it over. Retrieved by Amherst, hits it up, and over to Caroline O'Connor. Ball to Paige Seuss and Carabelle Boney. It's bumped up, set, and hit over. Caroline O'Connor with a great save there. The score now 11-6, Amherst.
Meadow out of sync just a little bit as they try and climb back into this pivotal game 4.
Rachel Michelson hits it up. To Carabelle Boney, who hits it over. And that's a point for the Spartans. The score now 11-7, Amherst. Paige Seuss set to serve the ball. And it's hit over. And that's an ace.
Beautiful, beautiful serve there by Paige.
Paige.
What's that again, Abby? What do we call that?
That's an ace.
An ace, yes.
Paige Seuss serving the ball again. Retrieved by Amherst, who sets it up and hits it over. Rachel Michelson, great save there. Over to Paige Seuss. And Carabelle Boney, who taps it over. Another point for the Spartans, bringing the score to 9-11, Amherst. Spartans seem to be putting it together here. With Paige Seuss serving the ball. Ball sent over to Amherst, who bumps it up, sets it, and hits it back over, saved by Caroline O'Connor, to Paige Seuss, who hits it over to Carabelle Boney. Taps it over to Amherst, who sets it up and hits it down. That was just a tough one for East Longmeadow.
It's one of the ones you wish you let go after you hit it. Your only chance was that it was going out of bounds. Ball was hit up very hard.
Amherst serves it over. Rachel Michelson, who bumps it up. Paige Seuss sets it up for Rachel Walczak. Point there by Rachel Walczak. The score now 12-10. Jamie Mikowitz now in for Rachel Michelson. Carabelle Boney serves the ball. Carabelle Boney serves the ball over. That was a close one. Amherst now serving the ball. Ball sent over to Jamie Mikowitz. Paige Seuss sets it up, and Jamie Mikowitz hits it back down. Saved by Amherst, who hits it up and over. Saved by Caroline O'Connor there, as Paige Seuss hits it up to Rachel Walczak. Saved again by Amherst, who hits it up. Rachel Walczak taps it over, back to Amherst, who bumps it up. Ball's hit over to Caroline O'Connor, who saves it again. Julia Decker taps it over to Caroline O'Connor, who hits it behind the back. Ball sent up to Jamie Mikowitz, who taps it over. Great point there for the Spartans.
Nice save there by Caroline O'Connor as she was going towards the line out in the back of the court there. Able to save it backwards. Ends up winning the point. Jamie Mikowitz. Spartans back into 13-12 here.
And that's out of bounds. The score now tied up 13-13. Rachel Walczak now serving the ball over to Amherst, who hits it up. And that's an East Longmeadow point there. East Longmeadow now in the lead, 14-13. They did a great job. And timeout called by Amherst. East Longmeadow's Rachel Walczak now serving the ball. The score, 14-13, East Longmeadow. Ball is served over to Amherst, who sets it up and hits it back over to Rachel Walczak. Retrieves it again to Paige Seuss, who sets it up for Jamie Mikowitz, who hits it over. Retrieved by Amherst, who sets it over to Rachel Walczak, to Paige Seuss. Meg Lindsay taps it over. And another point for the Spartans, now in a 15-13 lead in Game 4.
See if Rachel Walczak can pin him deep here on the serve again. Excellent serve on her last drive.
Rachel serves it over to Amherst, who bumps it back up and sets it. Hit over. Not quite over the net. Another point for the Spartans. The Spartans need to win this game if they want to win the match. Rachel Walczak serving again for the Spartans. And served over to Amherst. Ball's out of bounds. Another point for the Spartans. Spartans are on a roll with Rachel Walczak serving. Served by Rachel Walczak to Amherst, who sets it up and hits it over. Cara Balboni tried to save that one, but that was just a tough hit by Amherst. The score now 17-14, East Longmeadow, Game 4. Amherst serving here. Ball goes to Cara Balboni, who hits it over to Paige Seuss, who taps it over to Meg Lindsay, who taps it over the net. Another point for East Longmeadow. 18-14, East Longmeadow. Julia Decker set to serve. The ball is served over to Amherst, who sets it up, hits it. But can't get it back over the net. Another point for the Spartans, now leading 19-14. Julia Decker serving again. Julia sends it across to Amherst, bumps it up, and over the net to Julia Decker. To Paige Seuss, Meg Lindsay. Oh, and a penalty there. Amherst gets the point, now 19-15.
I don't know what the foul call is there, but Paige Seuss has been called on that about 5 or 6 times today, and I don't know what it is that she's doing. I don't know if she's turning her hands sideways and carrying it.
The ball goes to Meg Lindsay, to Jamie Mikowitz, who hits it over. Another point for the Spartans, now leading 20-15. Jamie Mikowitz set to serve the ball for the Spartans. Ball over at Amherst, who hits it over and can't quite get it over the net. Another point for the Spartans, now leading 21-15 in Game 4. Jamie Mikowitz serving the ball again for the Spartans. And that's a fault. Amherst gets that point. Now 21-16, Amherst serving the ball. Amherst serves the ball over. Rachel Michelson retrieves it. Paige Seuss bumps it up. A little confusion by the Spartans there. Amherst now serving the ball. Ball is served over to Julia Decker. Over to Paige Seuss. And Cara Balboni hits it over Amherst sets it up, hits it. Goes to hit it back over, but East Long Meadow gets that point. Now 22-17. The Spartans need 3 more points if they want to win game 4. Caroline O'Connor now serving the ball for the Spartans. Ball is bumped up, set, and hit. And another point for Amherst. Catching up with East Long Meadow. Now 22-18. Amherst with the ball now. Serving it over the net to Julia Decker, who tries to save that one, but that was a tough one. Great serve by Amherst. Amherst serves the ball. And that's a fault. Score now 23-19, East Long Meadow. East Long Meadow needs 2 more points to win game 4. Paige Seuss set to serve the ball. Ball served over. Amherst bumps it back up, sets it, and hits it over. Rachel Michelson retrieves it. Over to Paige Seuss to Cara Balboni, who hits it back over. Set up by Amherst. And hit over again. Great save there by Caroline O'Connor. Little tap over there. Caroline O'Connor sets it to Rachel Michelson, who bumps it up, sets it, and Amherst hits it down. Point for Amherst there. Now 23-20 in game 4.
Tough right there for East Long Meadow as the Amherst player missed it. Actually hurt her fingers on it as you see her motion to her fingers, but able to get the point in between.
Julia Decker saves that serve and hits it back over. Another point for the Spartans, now leading 24-20. If they can get 1 more point, they'll win game 4. Jamie Mikowitz now in for Rachel Michelson. Cara Balboni sets the serve for the Spartans. Ball served over where it's set up, bumped, and hit over. Saved there by Paige Seuss, who hits it back over. Saved by Amherst, who hits it back over to Caroline O'Connor. Ball set to Jamie Mikowitz, who hits it over. Saved by Amherst. Amherst hits it back down, saved by Jamie Mikowitz. Over to Paige Seuss. Jamie Mikowitz, who hits it over. Point there by Spartans, which leads them to win game 4.
Ball game. Great shot there by Jamie Mikowitz. East Long Meadow battled here in game 4. Able to even things up here. 2 games apiece. We're going to go to a game 5, and Abby, this one goes up to 15, I believe.
Yes. If the East Long Meadow Spartans are able to win game 5, they'll win the entire match.
It's on YouTube and the
My mom watched it too.
That's so great for Tom, though. I have to text him.
Are we on? Okay. We'll have to edit this part out. Set for game 5 here, and once again, thanks to our sponsors, our underwriters in part, the Pizza Shop, home of the legendary dough on Shaker Road in East Long Meadow, and also by Let's Yo, a yogurt experience, North Main Street in East Long Meadow, and I was certainly vouch for both places. Excellent, excellent places. Pizza Shop for dinner, Let's Yo for dessert.
Julia Decker serving the ball here for the Spartans. Ball served over to Amherst, who hits it back over. And that's a point for the Spartans, leading.
There by Caroline O'Connor. She read that one's going out. Not by much, but it did go out.
Julia Decker serving the ball again. Hit over, Amherst saves it. Another point for the Spartans, now leading 2-0 in game 5. Saved by Amherst there. Great save by Julia Decker, but Spartans just couldn't manage to get that one over.
Good effort there by 1-3 Julia Decker. Nice play there by the Amherst player also, keeping that alive. 2-1 East Long Meadow. Once again, just up to 15 here, folks. Deciding game 5.
Amherst getting ready to serve the ball over. Ball served to Julia Decker, who hits it up to Paige Seuss. And Jamie Mikowitz, he can't seem to get it over. Score is now tied 2-2 in game 5. Amherst serving the ball. Amherst serves the ball over the net to Caroline O'Connor. Goes to Paige Seuss to Meg Lindsay, who taps it over. Saved there by Amherst, who sets it up and hits it back over. Jamie Mikowitz hits it down. Another point for the Spartans. The score now 3-2 Spartans in game 5. Jamie Mikowitz preparing to serve the ball. Jamie Mikowitz sets the ball up. Ball set up to Julia Decker. And over to Meg Lindsay. Amherst sets it up and hits it back over to Caroline O'Connor there. Set by Paige Seuss. And another penalty. The score now 3-3. Rachel Michelson now in for Jamie Mikowitz. Amherst now ready to serve the ball. Ball goes over to Caroline O'Connor, who hits it up. To Paige Seuss, who sets it to Cara Balboni. Taps it over. Amherst saves it there and hits it back over to Rachel Michelson, who taps it over to Paige Seuss, who taps it over to Cara Balboni. Ball on Amherst, who hits it over. It was a great attempted block there by Meg Lindsay, but Amherst just seemed to get that point. Now Amherst prepares to serve the ball. The score 4-3. Amherst in the lead. Balls. Another point for Amherst there. Score now 5-3 in game 5. Amherst serves the ball over. And another point for Amherst. Now 6-3. Amherst serving the ball again. Ball served over the Paige Seuss. And Cara Balboni hits it down. A point there for the Spartans, making the score 6-4. Amherst. Caroline O'Connor preparing to serve the ball for the Spartans. Ball served over. And it's out. The score now 7-4 Amherst in game 5. Amherst serving. The ball is served over to Rachel Michelson, over to Paige Seuss. Back to Rachel Michelson, who hits it over, saved there by Amherst. Hit down by Rachel Walczak, saved by Amherst. Set up and hit over by Amherst. Rachel Michelson saves that over to Paige Seuss. Ball's saved there by Caroline O'Connor and set over by Paige Seuss. Back to Amherst, back to Rachel Michelson, back to Paige Seuss. Hit over there by Cara Balboni. Ball's hit up and set and hit over by Amherst. Saved again by Caroline O'Connor, up by Paige Seuss. And then a block there by Amherst, which brings the score to 8-4. Amherst in the lead.
So they're going to rotate sides here the last half of this game. 8-4 Amherst. Once again, the game is up to 15, the final game 5. East Long Meadow looking to go to 1-0 in the season.
Ball served over to Rachel Michelson and set up to Cara Balboni, who hits the ball down. Point there for Amherst. Score now 9-4 in game 5 with Amherst in the lead.
East Long Meadow needs a stop here.
Amherst serves the ball over to Rachel Michelson, who hits it up to Paige Seuss, setting it over to Cara Balboni, who hits it back to Amherst, who sets it up again, and hits it over. Rachel Michelson saves that one over to Paige Seuss, and Rachel Walczak hits it up again by Amherst. Hits it over, again it's saved by Rachel Michelson. Ball set up for Cara Balboni, who hits it over. Amherst saves it. Amherst hits it up again and back over to Caroline O'Connor, who saves that one. Up to Paige Seuss, to Cara Balboni, over to Amherst, who hits it up again. And over the net, Caroline O'Connor sets it up to Paige Seuss, to Cara Balboni. Ball set up again by Amherst and tapped over by Rachel Walczak.
That was a huge point there for East Long Meadow. Huge point. Nice shot there by Rachel Walczak.
It's a great play by East Long Meadow right there. And Paige Seuss sets to serve the ball. Ball is served over to Amherst and hit back down. Paige Seuss tried to save that one, but she couldn't quite reach it. The score now 10-5, Amherst in game 5. Amherst now serving the ball. Amherst serves the ball over. Paige Seuss bumps it up. Julia Decker hits it over. Amherst now sets the ball and hits it over to Rachel Michelson, to Julia Decker, who hits it back over, saved by Amherst, who sets it up and hits it again. Another point for Amherst, making the score now 11-5 with Amherst in the lead in game 5. Amherst is serving the ball. Hit over to Julia Decker, over to Rachel Walczak. Julia Decker again, who hits it down. A point for East Long Meadow, 11-6 in game 5. Jamie Mickowitz now going in for Rachel Michelson.
Starting to heat up here, Abby.
Let's see if East Long Meadow can close this gap. They only need 4 points to tie up the score. Cara Balboni hits the ball over, and that one's out. Amherst now in the lead. Amherst with another point there, now 13-7. Only 2 more points and Amherst will take the game. Amherst now setting up to serve the ball. Ball served over to Cara Balboni. Paige Seuss grabs that one over Rachel Walczak. Can't quite get it over. Now it's 14-7 Amherst. 1 more point and Amherst will win the game. Let's see if East Long Meadow can stay in it. Ball served over. Hit up by Jamie Mickowitz. Saved there by Caroline O'Connor. Rachel Walczak taps it over. Set up there and hit over. Saved by Paige Seuss, who taps it back over to Amherst. Ball set up and hit over by Amherst. Hit up by Caroline O'Connor. And behind the back by Paige Seuss. Cara Balboni hits this one up to Paige Seuss, who sets it over to Jamie Mickowitz, who hits it out. And now the score is 15-7. Amherst winning the game.
Tough loss here for East Long Meadows. They battled back 2 different times down the game. Come up in the final game a little bit short, 15-7. But great effort here by the Lady Spartans, Coach Yoshi. And hey, first match of the year, plenty more to go, and they'll certainly get better. Abby, it's been a pleasure doing it with you. Great job on the play-by-play, Maria Boucher. Great job on the camera. I'm Tony Santinello. Until next time, take care, everyone.